Hey there, folks, it's me, Malorian, back for another Malorian Weekly, and today what I want to talk about is pandemic purchases. I know I kind of want to get away from the talking about the pandemic and want to get to more just War Machine directed, but this is one I really wanted to get out there, just to kind of I think it really needs to be said, and we all have to be very careful. So basically, to really break down what I'm going to be talking about on this show, is I'm going to be talking about that during these troubling times, what should you be buying and where should you be buying? So it's happening more and more that, of course, as this is progressing with the coronavirus, that people can't really go out like they were before. They weren't going out to play at the stores. They aren't getting together for weekly gaming. Things are slowing down. And while that's happening, this is also slowing down purchases at your local stores, right? So the more this goes on and the more that you're staying home and, maybe ordering takeout or something like that and not really making the normal purchases you are, this is having a big change on the economy and the way that you're spending your money, which is what's affecting the economy. Now, I'm not going to come at this saying that like boo-hoo, we have to think about what it's doing to businesses, but in a way that is what we're going to be starting with this one off with. So one of the things that I think that we should all be thinking about is when you're sitting down and you're bored at home and you're like, oh, I just need something to do. I don't have any more models to build. I'm just bored. You're going to be going on the computer. You're going to be looking at things to order. And you might be thinking like, oh man, that new faction. Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to buy a new faction right now. I'm going to order it. I'm going to have it come in. It's going to be awesome. I'll be playing this new faction when everything closes up or starts up again. Or maybe I'm going to try a new game. I'm going to go and I'm going to try this Warcaster. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go online and I'm going to buy these things. Now, I want to advise against that for two different reasons. The first one just really being the fact that your local game stores are dying right now. I am wondering, after this is all done, how many just mom and pop local game stores are going to have to shut down. I mean, running a hobby store as it is usually not something where you're making hand over fist money, right? You never see your comic store owner driving in with like a Mercedes or something like that, right? These are more people who are doing it for the love of what they're doing, the love of being part of, everybody else and seeing that happiness going around. And so they don't normally have a big backlog, and to be able to survive how many months this is going to be, it's going to be extremely difficult. So, I mean, even just thinking right there, I would think that if you are planning to make a big purchase like that, don't do it online. If you can, to call them, see if they can do a delivery or anything like that. But that's really important, whether you're going to be giving that and doing that delivery now so they can have something to, like keep the lights on and buy food, or maybe you save it till after, right? This is a good time to maybe think of budgets, being like, well, every single month I'm going to spend this on hobbying. I've been away and locked down for, let's say, 4 months, 6 months, who knows how long this will be. And then after, I should have that money budgeted away to spend. And maybe that's something that could actually really encourage you, being like, wow, if I add up all the things that I do every single month in this budget, I have a lot to deal with at the end. So I'm going to plan this purchase now and be like, wow, I can buy this and this and this and this and this, and it's going to be fantastic. So that's really great. At the same time, though, I mean, if you're a person that normally bought from online, I don't want to take away from them. So, if they're a person where normally you sent your money to that company, I don't want to be taking away. I mean, people who do online stores are also a business. It's just my biggest thing is that always support local and where you play, because if you don't, you won't have a place to play. But then again, the biggest thing that our, friendly businesses are needing right now is stability. Something we're like, okay, last month I got this much money. How much money am I going to be getting this month? Because it really is a trying time. Now, I did say there's two things that I want you to consider, though. And the other thing that I want you to consider is your own well-being. And this is really, really huge right now. Just like how things are really, really bad for the store owners. And, if they don't have anyone coming in buying things for months and months and months, how are they going to keep the lights on? Well, at some point, you got to think about yourself. It's one of those things where a hobby is a luxury. This stuff might look pretty. Well, maybe not mine. People who are better painters, but, like, if things get bad, I can't eat these. I can't resell these for any real profit that's going to allow me to do anything with them. And so some of you have already been laid off. Others of you might be. Normally I put myself in a fairly comfortable area, but things are really bad right now, and I would not be surprised if I get laid off in the coming months, right? And so this is something that, again, when you're thinking about budgeting, this is the best time for that. And so if you go and at least say, I'm going to hold off and not buy anything to the end, but then at that point, I'm going to spend that money so that the people that are expecting it still get it. The best thing is that if you do that forward planning and hold on to it now, is that if the worst occurs and then all of a sudden, you lose your job, or let's say you live in a place or you are a person that doesn't have very good coverage. If you end up in the hospital because of this and have lots of bills, well, luckily you have this in your hands. So definitely something, I wish I could come out and do like the usual hurrah, hurrah, Malorian, go buy things, War Machine's awesome, let's go spend all the money. But now's the time to be smart. Now's the time to be thinking about your local game store and if it's even going to survive, because, it's really hard for us to come out of this and have a thriving War Machine community if all the gaming stores get shut down. And at the same time, it's hard to have a thriving community if all our players go bankrupt. So we all have to think about this. This is the time for being fiscally responsible. As much as normally that's not something we want to do, this is the time for it. I had it just a few days ago that I was getting bored. I started making up some purchases, being like, yeah, I could do this and this and this, made a list, had all the purchases all lined up, and then before I said bye, I was like, no, this is not what I should be doing. I should be sitting on it. And wouldn't you know, at the very next day, my boss started talking to me about like, so if it does come to the worst, would you rather be laid off or go to part-time? It's like, okay, yep, I made the right call. So everybody be realistic. Everybody look at that budget. And otherwise, let's get past this Corona thing so I could talk about more fun War Machine things. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.